Yes, I'm back. One of the things people always talk about is distributors. One of the things people hardly talk about is the deliverables. So I made this video about distributors and deliverables. Now, first thing is there are a lot of distributors, and it seems like every time I turn around, a new one pops up. Some of the more popular distribution companies are like Film Hub, Homestead, Maverick, Indie Rights, Man Robinson, Dame Dash Studios, U-Cult is another one. There are a few, there are many, and their fees range, right? So go with who works for you. But I'll tell you this, each company has their pros and cons. One company may be good at reaching way more channels than another company. Some companies specialize in targeting just certain channels. So you have to make the decision on your own. Some companies charge a little bit more. Some companies want to lock you into contracts. Some of them will let you go. Some are non-exclusive, some are exclusive. Some are easier to communicate with. Some of them give you analytics on a regular basis so that you can see how your project is doing. So you have to figure out all of these little different things before you make your decision on which distributor you want to go with. But I will say this, for the most part, all of them are going to hit the top streaming channels. For the most part, all of them are going to hit Tubi, Amazon Prime, Apple, Plex, Peacock, and then all the other channels, right? Some of them hit Hulu, some of them hit Netflix. Most of them hit those channels too. But it has nothing to do with their reach, it has to do with the quality of your project. So make sure you ask your distributor what channels do you distribute to before you make your decision. Each of these distributors have their pros and cons. Some of them will even finance your project. If you have a script and they really like it, they'll put up the money to have it produced. But it may not be a huge budget. It'll be just enough for you to make it happen, and then they'll split the profits on the back end with you for a certain amount of time. So you have to really look into each of these companies and find out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are before you get into bed with any of them. For example, I'm an analytics guy. I like to see analytics. So I have to be with a distributor who can allow me to see what my numbers are looking like on a day-to-day basis, or at least on a week-to-week basis, because I need to know if the promotions that I'm doing in Miami are having an effect. I need to know if the stickers that I'm putting up in New York are driving traffic to my movie. So I need to see analytics. Some of these distributors, they don't show you analytics. You don't see it until you see your check. So that doesn't work for me, but that might work for you. Some distributors pay over a different time. Some distributors pay every 3 to 6 months. Some distributors pay every 30 days. That's another point depending on what you prefer. Some distributors market. That can be good or bad because a lot of times their marketing is weak. It's soft. But that's just my opinion because I do marketing. And some of the distributors will do marketing for you, but then they'll also charge you for it. So if they do something, like I've heard of a distributor post something on their social media page, and then they'll charge you $1,500 for that, and they say, well, we did marketing, we posted you on our page. So you have to be diligent when you're having these conversations. And don't be intimidated by them. Ask your questions before you put your project with them. You need to know how often do you pay? Do you guys do marketing and distribution? Do you pay for that? Do you guys finance movies? And if you do, what is the criteria for you deciding to finance? Is there a split? Is there ownership? Do you guys license? Do you guys do deals with the channels and get our projects licensed? So these are just a few of the questions that you need to ask. Is it exclusive? Whatever works for you, because it's different strokes for different folks. What might work for me may not work for you. What might work for you may not work for me. So you have to really be diligent and ask these questions. And if you're not satisfied, just go to the next one. There are enough distributors out there that you can find someone that fits with what your needs are. Now, as far as deliverables go, that's another thing that varies between distributor. For example, Film Hub requires many different images, maybe 10 to 12, and they're all in different formats. Some are wide, some are vertical, some are square. And the reason that they require that is because they submit to so many different channels that each channel has their own requirement. Some channels, the image that's seen is a square. Some channels, they need an image that's a scene from the movie or the series. They have different requirements. And I think in my experience, Film Hub kind of submits to the most. So they ask you for all of this so that they don't have to come back and ask you again. So you have to submit images, the graphics, the poster artwork, sometimes with text, sometimes without text. Sometimes, usually, they ask for another image, which is going to be like your hero shot. So if you're ever watching a streaming channel and then you click on it, sometimes you'll see a background image that isn't the graphic or the poster, and that's like the hero shot. They just have that behind your title. That's your background image. Sometimes they have images that are still shots from the actual movie. They want that. Sometimes they want versions of the poster that are in different shapes to place in different places. Sometimes the way your movie or your series shows up on a mobile device is going to be different than how it shows up on a television or how it shows up on a tablet. So that's why they ask for so many different sizes. And then a channel over in Africa or a channel over in South America, they may have a different sizing format than they have over here. So that's why they ask for so many different shapes and sizes. Another thing that they're going to ask you for is release forms. So when you have actors in your movie and in your series, you have to get them to sign release forms. They have to sign these one sheets that say, hey, you have the right to use my image in your movie, in your series, and stream it to the world, and I'm not going to sue you for that. So you have to have your release forms. Make sure you get those on the day that you're shooting. It's usually before, but if you miss it, then you could do it after. Have someone go around, get it after. And if you really miss that, sometimes you can email it. I've done it each and every one of those ways. Another thing you're going to have to submit is a cue sheet. A cue sheet is a list of all the music that plays inside of your project and the time that it starts and the time that it ends. So now if you're getting these songs and music from different people or you're using a music library, those people, in order for them to get paid their publishing money, it needs to be put down in a document called a cue sheet that shows when that song came on, the name of the song, who owns the song, the publisher of the song, and then that information, you turn it into the channel or your distributor, they turn it in, but it also gets turned into this performing rights agencies like ASCAP and BMI and CSAC and some of these different ones around the world. So it's important to have your cue sheet in order if you want your talented artists to get paid. Another thing you're gonna have to submit is subtitles. I think it's actually a regulation that you have to submit subtitles. Now, you can do it in different languages, but you definitely have to do it in the language that your movie is in. There's a company called Rev that has been basically the go-to for everybody, but some distributors will also do subtitles for you. So there's different things, again, that can dictate which distributor you go with. Same thing with cue sheets, same thing with release forms, but those are the main things that you're going to be expected to turn in as part of your deliverables. You have to turn in a certain resolution of your movie. A lot of these channels do take 1080p. I don't know any that take anything higher than 4K. Some of them do take 2K, some of them take 4K. That's a whole discussion I won't get into. I have my own views about which one is better to submit. You could ask me that in the comments, but you have to make that decision yourself. Did you shoot your movie in 6K? Did you shoot it in 4K? Did you shoot it in 2K? Or did you shoot it in 1080p? Whatever it is, you're going to be asked to submit that, and most likely it's going to be asked to be submitted in a ProRes format, but I have seen some alternates as well. So remember, you're going to have to submit your full movie. You're going to have to submit your trailer. You're gonna have to submit the graphics that come along with it and multiple versions of the graphics. You're gonna have to submit your release forms. That's the artist agreeing to have themselves, the talent agreed to have themselves in your movie. You're gonna have to submit your cue sheet, which is all of the music that is in there. Another thing you're gonna have to submit is subtitles. Subtitles are important. And I think that's pretty much everything that you have to submit. I may be missing something. If I am, just write it in the comments, but those are the main things that are your deliverables that you have to turn in to your distributors. And again, it can be slightly different depending on the distributor that you go to. All right. I hope that's been helpful. I hope some of you got some information. So when you're going out there and you're preparing, just know that you got to prepare your goods the right way. All right. And on that note, I'm out of here. Stay creative, keep thinking outside the box. All right, see you on the next video. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Are you ready to take your YouTube channel to the next level? Whether you're just getting started or already on your way to building a loyal fan base, you know one thing: consistency is key. Introducing the YouTube Planner and Accountability Journal, the ultimate tool for every content creator serious about growth, engagement, and success. This planner is designed to help you stay on top of your goals with easy-to-follow checklists, subscriber milestone maps, and customizable content schedules. Plus, we've packed it with inspiring quotes from top influencers to keep you motivated on even the toughest days. Because this isn't just a planner, it's your blueprint to growing a thriving YouTube community. It's about staying on track even when life gets crazy. So what are you waiting for? Go get your copy now on Amazon.